Welcome to the Wealth Roundtable with Sean and
Dwayne Venable.
yes, and we are so excited. I just want to laugh. We are so excited to be here with you this afternoon. This is the second episode of season 2, and we are so excited because we have an amazing lady here with us, Mrs. Alexis Sidney. So we are ready to get started. I love to say this, just kind of preface it. Dwayne and I are all about wealth, and to us, it's so much more than money and the tangible. It is about having a wealthy and healthy and whole life. Nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing broken. So without further ado, because we promised to bring the most brilliant minds to the stage, we have Miss Alexis.
Hey, hello. I'm so excited to be here today.
I'm so excited that you're here. And you look gorgeous.
Thank you. So do you.
Thank you. You look pretty handsome.
I think I worked all day on my head.
Oh my goodness. So I'll let Dwayne kick us off. This is like a standard question that we ask everybody when we bring them on the show.
All right. So tell us who you are, what you do, and how you add value.
Well, I am Alexis Sidney. I am the founder and CEO of the 12 firm, which is an accounting advisory firm. And I work exclusively with real estate investors, brokers, and agents. And my main goal is to help them become more profitable. So it's my joy working with business owners, helping them grow, making sure that they're in compliance with their accounting and that they have all the tax strategies that they need and that they're well advised. So that's what I do. I'm also a mom of 3 small children. I have a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old, 2 boys, and my daughter is 7. And I also have a spouse as well. My big baby that I have to take care of as well. And so, that's what I do. And, I do it, I add value because, again, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of this is their dream. This is how they take and they live, they survive, they use it to build wealth or a legacy for their family. So I add value by just making sure that they're reaching their goals. That they have accountability with reaching them and they're doing them the right way. Because like I said, time is money and, we don't have a lot of time to waste. It's valuable. So it's just good to be able to provide value to people where they get it right the first time or they have a trusted person they can work with. So it's like, I don't got to figure this out. I don't have to go through the trials and errors, get it right the first time. So that is what I do.
Listen, I'm going to let you talk, I promise, but I love what you said. I do have a question for you. Then I promise I'm going to let Dwayne ask a question. Okay. So you said the 12 firm, and I always believe there's a story behind the name. Tell me about the story.
Yeah, so the funny thing is it seems like the story is still crafting as I'm going through. But I'll start with the basics. I worked for the federal government for 12 years. I work with them longer as well as a contractor, but really working, collecting, a paycheck from them. It was 12 years. And at that point, I decided hey, I want to go back into full-time entrepreneurship because I had opened my business in college. It was a side hustle. I felt like, I had to go use my degree. So I was juggling both. But it came to that point when I was trying to climb the ladder and it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. So I was like, I got this business here. I can do this thing. And at that 12-year mark, I was like, deuces. So I left. That's one of the significance behind the number 12. Also, my birthday is in the 12th month of the year, December. In addition to it, there's some religious things behind it. Jesus had 12 disciples, and that number 12 in the Bible is so powerful. And in addition to it, I like to bring the perspective that, when the clock strikes 12 or late in the midnight hour, things are going to be turned around. So I was like, the number 12 is just so perfect. But that's the story. It's kind of all over. At one point, it was Tom Brady because, he was the greatest. He won a number 12.
But you can't argue with Tom, so.
all right.
You can put up the numbers, so you can't really say anything.
Right. So, that's kind of what's behind the number 12. And I'm constantly working to just craft the story and just make it more because I'm like, it's this, it's that, it's that, it's that, it's that.
So, Dwayne, I have the pleasure of running with Alexis in some various circles, but are you curious about, because she said a lot, and there's so much there that people like us need. So,
yeah. So when I hear the word compliance, right, that's a word that like a lot of people don't like to hear. Compliance means there are rules that I need to follow, and we don't want to follow rules. We want to do what we want to do. We want to spend our money how we want to spend it. We want to, do the things that probably we shouldn't do. So, so just talk about that compliance just a little bit. Just give us some insight on that, what that compliance means.
Definitely. Well, it means different things to different people. But as far as what compliance means when I'm working with clients, it's definitely just making sure that, especially for business owners, that you have good books, because that's a foundation that tells the story about your business, what you have going on. But it also allows me, as working with clients on like a CFO level, to really take that data and see the health of their business, and then being able to help them reach goals. In addition, of course, you have to have the books, because if you're spending money, making money, you're not tracking it, then when you go file them taxes, there it lies. So that's what the compliance part of what I do is. But again, there's always strategies and things of that nature. But again, your books have to be in order. You have to have that plan in place so that you can be in compliance, so that you're doing what is required. You're paying those taxes, whether you're doing estimated tax payments or filing them when the due date is. So compliance is so much. It's not just, taxes, but it's all the things that you have to do to efficiently, run your business as well.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me I can't rely on my TikTok ministry to kind of help me through? I need I need a little bit more.
Well, yes. Now, there are some accountants out there in the TikTok world. I tried to dabble in TikTok and I feel old. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. But there are some good people out there putting out some good content. You can listen to them. But you do need to work with someone who, definitely specializes in your area, so that they can bring that extra value to you and know like what works for the investors, and that's the lane they play in. So it's like, okay, they're constantly working with many investors and they're like, hey, this is what's trending. This is what we're doing. As the market is changing right now, you may have to switch your portfolio up and how you're doing stuff. And so it's good to connect with those type of people and get your information from them so that they can lead you the right way, versus someone who's dealing with bakeries. It's like, oh, we over here baking cakes. It's good for us. So.
Yeah, I think that I found that to be true, because I've looked into a lot of things that I've seen online, and yeah, it works, right? But like you said, there's a whole lot of compliance and other underlying things that need to add up before you can get to some of these things that they talk about. So
Yeah.
I think they miss a few of the steps. It's you only getting like a 60-second clip of a 24-hour process. So you're only getting 60 seconds out of 24 hours. So it's a whole lot more to it. But I just thought I'd throw that in there because of the compliance piece.
Oh, no, I agree. I often have people call me and they'll be like, hey, I heard this. And I'm like, you always get that answer. It depends, or it depends. Yeah. So, everyone thinks they hear like the hype stuff on the street. Oh, I remember it was escorts. I got to go be an escort. And I'm like, okay.
You know exactly what that means.
Are you at that level, So
exactly. So listen, you bring up a really good point, because I was listening to Dwayne. I didn't know you were going to go into the compliance piece. And then shout out to the people who are doing it right on TikTok, right? But you need your personal person. What are some of the most common mistakes that you see with real estate investors or people who are in real estate or in general?
Well, definitely what I see a lot with real estate investors is their books aren't done at all. They're using Excel spreadsheets, or, they're not using anything. A lot of times it depends on how many doors they have. Like, they're not tracking those the right way. So it's just like mumbo jumbo. They don't want to spend the money to separate their businesses. Everything is in one QuickBooks account. So it brings up a lot of issues for them, because you can have someone who's doing, short-term rentals, or you have someone who's doing fix and flips, and it's two, separate businesses, and they need to be tracked separately, because with the rentals and things, you want to see your profit margins. And a lot of times we don't have that good data, that insight, we can't see it. We can't add value to you because you don't have the stuff organized. So I see a lot of that. I also see a lot of times with my investor clients is that they're making money and it's coming in, but they're not stopping and having a plan in place, a blueprint, I like to call it, where it's like telling your money where to go. And now it's like it came in and went out. I don't know where my money is. And now they start pulling money from other places to try to get other deals or new deals. And it's kind of, a mess. So I work with them a lot to bring clarity to that, so that they can achieve the goals that they're wanting to as, things are happening. Another issue that I see a lot is that with the investors, and this is even with agents and brokers, they're getting those lump sums of money and they're not setting aside taxes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I owe what at the end of the year? So I see a lot of that as well. Or they have this magical number. There's this magical number. Oh, just and they're doing that, but then they don't have a tax plan where they're strategizing. And real estate has some of the best strategies out there, and they're not even, maximizing. Funny story, I had got a new client this year, and she was into real estate, and they didn't depreciate their property last year, and she just started. But that depreciation alone, she was like, I can do what? Yeah. And it jumped and helped her get a refund from Owen, and she was so excited. So it's just like the little things, like people, we say they're fly-by-night investors or whatnot, and then we have investors who are really doing this for a living. So they come at all angles, but just the lack of education, they're out there getting the deals, wholesaling, doing all the big stuff that I'm like, I want to do that. But the back end piece is just like, I'll deal with that whenever, or if I get in trouble, that's when it's important.
Now, how do you walk with your clients? Because, people are really funny about, and it's interesting, right? They want to make the money, but then sometimes they're funny about bringing people into the areas of their money because they may be embarrassed by the choices that they've made before. If there's anyone that's listening online, what advice would you give those individuals?
Well, definitely, nobody's perfect. I like to say that. But I also like to make my clients feel comfortable, just letting them know that, I'm here to help them. I didn't always get it right. I'm still working, although I know this skill set, for me, I'm still working, and I'm very open about that with people because I don't want to feel like I just know it all and you should know this, because that's not always the case. But for me, I just ask questions when I'm working with a client and just allow them to, not push them initially, but just let them share. And then I'm able to interpret like, okay, where is this going? Because the numbers are going to tell the story. Once you get that data, it's going to share stuff. And then it's just allowing you to address things, as you start uncovering and diving into their numbers. And at that time, they're more like, okay. And they seem to open up for me. So you're definitely, going to have to get over yourself in a nice way. Because if you want the help, you have to be open. It's just like going to a therapist and saying, not telling the truth about why are you there and trying to, sugarcoat it. You're not getting the help you need. So you have to be vulnerable. You have to open up to get the help, especially if you have a problem financially.
Yeah.
I can tell he likes you already because he's like, yeah, this is what it is. What do you have to say?
I am like that. Like I like to keep my stuff, intact. My books. I like to keep my books right. And I'm not doing the best at it, right? But I try to make sure that we're in the right space. And like you said, it is embarrassing sometimes to look at some, to let people in, like, when you need that help, you have to be willing to open. Like you said, that pain hit, when that pain get to be, too great, you'll open your mouth and let somebody in to help you. But that is definitely one of those things. Like you may not want to show it, but at some point you're gonna want some funding, or some point you're gonna want some help, and you don't want to walk in that bank and open it up to see $1,000 worth of Chick-fil-A coming out there. And you know what I mean, and you're in the negative, 3 or 4 times out of the month, but because you're not strategizing correctly. So,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, and that doesn't mean you're not winning in your business, because a lot of times your money is invested, and it's better invested. Probably keep you out of that tax bracket that you don't want to be in if you keep your money invested. But
and sometimes you want to be in the tax bracket because that means that I'm making more money.
No, you do. Yeah. But I mean, to get the breaks that you need, sometimes you need to spend the money or invest the money. You don't have to spend it, but put it into something that's going to make you more money. Keep it out. Don't keep it in that bank account, because Uncle Sam's coming for that.
No, I agree.
But that's just my take on it. But yeah, you don't want to let people in. You don't want them to see everything that you're doing sometimes. So I guess what is the best way that you can say sometimes, if you if you don't want to, I don't know, I don't want you to give all the secrets away, but sometimes they need to book you to find out this stuff. But how can you keep I guess your lenders and all of that out of your business?
Keep your lenders out of your business.
I mean, I say, like, you don't want them to see all those Chick-fil-A things sometimes.
Well, typically, depending on what type of loan you're trying to get, so I do know that they have for business owners where you can show your P&L reports, and they can give you a loan off of that. So typically the profit and loss report should be categorized. So if you go on to Chick-fil-A every day, they probably don't see it's Chick-fil-A. They just see maybe meals, or it may be an owner's draw, depending if you're swiping, personal stuff on the business card. Because they don't have access to your system where they see every transaction. Now, it may be different if they're requesting bank statements, which some lenders may do. Then they'll probably be like, hey, what's going on? But my thing to that is, if it's business, it's a business expense, so it's nothing to hide. So if you're commingling, that's a whole nother issue where you are mixing personal and business, and you shouldn't. But I think, like, for most lenders, they're just trying to close the deal and get you the funding you need. So I don't really think they're, too judgmental or, making fun of you behind your back when they see you. But
I think I was just trying to back into the co-mingling thing.
Oh, okay.
That's all I was really trying to do. Just trying to back into the co-mingling. Like, you probably shouldn't be mixing your business and your personal on your card.
Yes, that is definitely a no-no. And I say that because, if the IRS was to audit you, I always like to look at stuff from an audit-proof standpoint. Now that gives them the right to go get your personal statements. And if you don't want to give them to you, they'll go in their system and they'll request them from the bank, and the bank will give them all your bank stuff, and they'll go through it. And now everything. Now you're going to have to go through this big process where this is personal. This is even PayPal, Cash App, like everything, so that they can try to back out into whatever they're trying to audit you on. So just keep that in mind. Commingling is definitely a no-no. And I understand things happen. We may have those emergencies or whatnot, but just try not to do it. It's just not a good look for you and your organization.
Oh, I love. So let me ask you this, because you said so much in a short amount of time, which is so valuable. Like
Yeah.
this feels like the consult piece right here, right? What number one? What I know you're based out of Atlanta, right?
Yes.
So do you service clients in different states? That's the first question.
Yes, I service clients all over the United States, and then I also have some clients that's abroad who work overseas or whatnot. So I'm doing it all.
Okay, so that's awesome. That's the first thing. And we'll make sure that we share your information out because we have so many investor friends that are going to need some of this stuff. I think we're going to need some of this stuff. So we're going to be talking to you after this. And then the second question would be, tell us about kind of well, you've already said it, the variety of services. So do you work with your clients long term? Do you have, something where it's maybe like a yearly audit update? What all do you offer?
So yeah, definitely. Would love to share that. What I do, I offer tax prep. So that's our basic service. We also do tax resolution. I am licensed to practice with the IRS. So if people get IRS trouble, we can actually go to court, represent you, help fight that battle for you. In addition to that, we do tax planning as well, where we help you strategize and have a tax plan in place. We do monthly bookkeeping, accounting services, or we also do it quarterly, but we do bookkeeping. We offer payroll as well. And some of the other services, I am a certified Profit First professional. So that's more of my advisory services where we do work with people and helping them to set up their cash management system so that now they're telling their money where to go. They're ensuring that they're meeting those buckets with taxes and paying themselves and, setting up money for their goals, especially my real estate clients. They want deals. They want to pay down debt. So we just put that system in place so that when they are getting revenue coming into the business, it's going somewhere and you're following your plan. In addition to that, we also offer CFO services where we are like that fractional CFO. So for companies who are like, I need to take this to the next level, we work with them. So we do have packages for our clients where we work with them month to month. We don't do any long-term, like 12-month contracts. I feel like it's month to month. You work with us as long as you want to. But we do offer those services where with those packages, we'll put the services that you need or that works for you, because I understand like everyone's at different levels and we try to meet the client where they are to get them to where they need to be. But in addition to that, with some of the packages, we're meeting bi-weekly, we're meeting once a month or once a quarter. But when I'm with my clients, it's like if they have questions, I don't mind like answering them. They always can reach me, sort of say. So that's a lot of what we do at our firm. In addition to, any other little creative stuff I may find myself doing for my clients, like, I was talking to someone today, it's so funny, and we're talking about accounting, and I just started sharing some insight about her business because she told me she was having issues with sales coming in the door. So I'm like, okay, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. She's like, can I pay you? I said, no. I said, no, but if you need to talk to me, you can. But I don't want to start diving into another lane of marketing and stuff. I said, no, I'm sticking here. So, you just get a wealth with working with me because I'm so well versed in different areas. And I'm able to bring that into the business and help. So it's not just numbers, we start talking about dreams and goals and like, try this. And they're like, yeah, that's good. So I really like that I'm well versed and I'm able to just bring so much to the table with the clients.
That is so awesome. And it's a full total package.
Yeah.
All right. So I feel like we've asked you a lot about business, and I'm going to ask you a question. We'll navigate through it, but it's kind of hobby to passion to profit and the woman that's actually behind the brand. So You mentioned to me that you used to this was a little hobby, a little side hustle that you had in college. How did that turn into now a full-blown business? And I definitely understand the 12 years, but even to be so niche specific around these are the particular clients that you're looking like, how did you get there from there to here?
It's been a journey. I didn't always start out this way. When I first started, like I said, it was a hobby. I was in college. I was excited about the money I made. I partied. I was like, yeah, I like this. This is what's up. I don't have to work all year long. But yeah, I started as a hobby. It was a side hustle. But like I said, I was, wanted to use my degree. And initially, I started school in biology. And I was trying to get jobs in the accounting field because I had tax behind me. And I was told that I needed to go get some more education in accounting. So then I swapped and went and got degrees in accounting, finance, and all of that great stuff. So it kind of pushed me to keep the journey going. And as I started, getting older and seeing like how businesses worked and how people were going more into entrepreneurship, it forced me to like start growing in that space and just shifting clientele. I got to the point where I was tired of, my clients who always was looking for a refund check. And they would call, my check here, where is that? Go check on it. I was just like, at one point, I was going to quit because I was like, I'm not doing this no more. Like, there is more to it than this. So my husband had told me, he was like, you need to change you. You control this, change you. So at that point, I started investing more into myself to be able to provide more valuable services just outside of taxes. And it just continued to grow over the years. And now it's to the point where, okay, well, I know businesses, but who am I going to work with? Because at one point I had a scarcity mindset. Like, I can't say I'm only working with real estate or this, because then the other client come and then they're going to not want to work with me, or I'm turning down money. But then I was like, it's one of those things where, you work with a certain industry, because now I'm able to learn everything about it. I'm able to focus all my, trainings and things to that, and able to be such a value because I know what's going on. And it's not just, I know how to do bookkeeping, but no, I know how to take those books and apply it to, the investors, especially when they have the doors, and how to do all of that stuff versus just general stuff. So I really like, niching down. Like I said, it took so many years. And it was a scary journey. It was definitely mindset, just having to shift it and change it. And it was a lot, but it's so rewarding now because, again, I'm able to bring that value, and it's not like I'm out here talking to everyone. Now, I won't turn someone down, but if it's like someone I don't want to deal with, or like a certain area, like I just don't want to deal with, I know that I'm so connected with other people. I can say, hey, why don't you work with them? Because they work with this profession and they can bring that a level of insight to you that I may not be able to bring because I don't play in that space. So that's the beauty of it. But it definitely took years. I want to say about 20 years or so, but I'm here.
But you know what? You said something valuable. And then I want to turn it over to you. And this is like coach hat coming on for me. A lot of times it is all about mindset. And what I love about you, when I look at your posts, when I speak to you, even asking you questions now, you are speaking to me. You are speaking my language. You are speaking to my pain points. So I'm not confused about what you can offer me. I'm not confused about the investment, and I'm not confused about the value that you bring, because you're speaking my language. And a lot of times we are trying to speak to everybody, and so we don't really know who we're talking to. And then the people that we are truly called to are confused because we're not talking to them. So I love your journey.
Thank you.
What you think about that?
I think it's good. I think it is important to kind of stick to your zone of genius and have your area defined and know what you want to do. Like that, like you said, that doesn't mean you can't help people who come along that may be like a quick fix or something that you can take care of right now. But knowing where you want to be and where you belong and where you want to play, that's important because it helps with your sanity too. Because there are a lot of things that people have asked me to do and I've tried to do it and it went so wrong, but it was not something I did in the beginning and not something that I wanted to do to start with. But I tried to help them out with something, but I've quit now. So this is not what I do. I don't work in that space. It's not who I am. So, I can maybe point you in the direction of somebody who can help you, but this is going to take up way more of my time than I think. I've had to take that step. So I understand. Yep, definitely getting in your niche, getting your zone of genius, and staying in that space.
Yeah. And everything that you're good at doesn't mean that you're necessarily supposed to be doing it,
right.
Because some things are truly a hobby or you're good at doing it, but how do you add the most impact and value?
Right.
And then where do you allow other people to now operate in their zone of genius to bring people along? Because we don't have to do everything.
And where's my happy place? Like, where am I going to, be the most, content? So
I feel like this is a whole counseling session you giving us.
It's so true because, me, I am a creative at heart. At one point, I was doing weddings and designing weddings and doing T-shirts and graphics. And, that's the fun side of me. And I was trying to juggle all this stuff and taxes. And I was just like, I can't do this. Like, I need to figure out what is it going to be. So I locked all my craft stuff in the closet. Put all my event stuff. I just started giving away to the church and stuff because I was like, I need to focus here. And but it's so true because you're so stretched thin. And it's like, okay, is this generating the money or bringing what I need to support my living, or am I doing this because I enjoy it and it's just a hobby? And it's like, okay, we'll go volunteer somewhere to, get that fulfilled. So it's so true because you'll be scattered all over, and it's like you have to put your time where it's most needed or it's going to bring you the most reward. So you're speaking to me.
Well, listen, you've leaned into another area that I want to tap into quickly because you are always, and I know this because of circles that we run in, shout out MMC. You are always investing in yourself. You are full-time running a business. You have a awesome and creative side of you that you have to keep in check, right? You're a mom of 3 beautiful children. You have a husband. I know you volunteer and do so many things. How do you do it all and stay within harmony?
I don't know.
Come on, looking as good as you look. How do you do it? What's the secret?
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I'm the Energizer bunny. I just keep going and going and going. But it's my passion that just keeps me going. The things that I'm touching now, I'm passionate about because I know that it's going to do something greater for not just me, but, for my family, for my future, and just to make things easier for us as we continue to go through this journey of life. So, I just go. Sometimes I ask myself, I don't even know how I'm doing this. I just make sure I get in bed at least by 10, 11 o'clock at night. I did have to start setting boundaries because I used to work constantly. And I knew that, I had my small ones and they're not going to be small forever. So I knew that, I had to set boundaries. I shut my phone off at a certain hour as far as work. And I even separate, business from, personal so that I can have that shut off and, set those times where this is for my kids. I'm going to have a husband time. I'm working on that one too, where we have that time together. But you just have to put those boundaries in place and stick with them, because otherwise your business will be running you, and you won't be any good to the people who it matters most for and why you're doing it for. So it's a daily self-check. Let's say that.
Dwayne, you have any more questions for our amazing guests?
No, I think they're just gonna have to call you and find out on their own. I'm not gonna ask. I'm not helping you get any more free information.
Well, wait a minute. I'm actually going to do one more. It's one thing that I want you to touch on because it touched my heart. It was prior to us coming live. And then you have something that's coming up, and I definitely want you to tell people about it so they can get more information. But before we got on live, you were telling me about an amazing experience that you have with some young kids and another passion lane that you have around building economic wealth and growth for our youth. Can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, I can. So I am I have a nonprofit. It's an extension of the 12 firm. And what it does is called Financial Treehouse. And what Financial Treehouse is it teaches young kids financial acumen. And it really dives into the financials, things that they don't typically cover too much in the school curriculum. So the curriculums that we have or designing really goes towards, teaching kids about taxes, credit cards, banking, and just all the things that they need at a young age so that they can be successful as they're growing older. But yesterday I had the opportunity to go for lunch at a nonprofit organization. They're running a summer camp, and I got to talk about the 12 firm, what I do, and talk about entrepreneurship. And I'm not around, like, my kids are young, but I'm not around like the older school age children. So I was just so blown away by the conversations, that we were having and how they looked at life and what they thought entrepreneurship was. And it's always funny when I ask, so what is taxes to you? And they come up with all these wild and crazy answers. And I'm like, it's so funny. But it was so good to be there because these kids out here, like, they have dreams and visions and all kinds of stuff. And it was blowing my mind away because I'm like, at your age, I don't think I was even thinking like this. I always wanted to be a doctor, lawyer, that stuff. But these kids are out here like, I'm doing this right now. I'm making beats and I'm writing movie scripts and I'm cartoon. I'm like, what? And so I'm telling them, like, you don't have to wait till you get older. Some of the girls, we went around the room and they were saying, oh, I want to make bracelets as a business, or I want to be an artist, and stuff that they can touch right now. And it was just so empowering for me because I'm like, I'm about to go and find out how, I don't have a whole lot of money, but what can I do right now before those kids get out of that camp to be like, here's your beads, baby, go make your bracelets and I want to see them. Or here's your artist set, like, start drawing those pictures and selling them. It was so rewarding to me. And I just feel like, I think it happened at the right time because the Financial Treehouse, we were getting things up and running. Then COVID happened and we just kind of just left it there. And I knew I was saying God's time and it will come back around. It'll come to a place, and I just can't enforce it because I had so much life going on. But I think it was divine, like that day yesterday, because it just sparked something in me. And now I'm like, okay, it's time to do something. I may not be able to run something huge, but start somewhere. And so, that's my share.
But you know what? Start something and do something. You did. You told a story. So I want to make sure that we're going to put your link in for your information, period, because you have entrepreneurs, business owners, individuals that will need your service. And then also to be a part of your nonprofit and to be a blessing to that, so that, by the time that summer camps ends, maybe there are some sponsorships there that you can come back and tell those stories as well, because we definitely want to have you back on.
Definitely. I love it. And I just, love y'all presence. This is wonderful what you guys are doing.
We are so thankful. Now, what do you have coming up? Because we're going to get people registered.
So what do I have coming up? I'm like, I have so much stuff on my calendar. But my event I have coming up, it's actually a workshop, and it is scheduled for, is it June 23rd at 7 p.m.? I believe that's the date. But what I'm going to be doing is just having a conversation around people who want to buy a home, sell a home, or get into investing, and just have a conversation around what that looks like. What do your taxes need to be? What do your credit need to look like? Like start just putting that information out there so that people can have the information they need, so that they can start making that journey and purchase their first home, or definitely their investment. I know so many people who have the means to get investment properties, but they're so scared because they don't have that person like guiding them or telling them what to do or how to navigate in that lane. And it's like you're missing out on wealth opportunities because you don't have it, or you're scared. So I just want to start having conversations around that so that people can have the information needed, or just get connected with the right people who can help them, walk them through the process, babysit them if you need that, so that you can achieve your goals and dreams. So we'll be talking about all of that on the 23rd of June at 7 p.m. And it is virtual, and there should be a replay, I think, if they miss it. But that's what we're going to be doing.
We are registered, just to let you know. Well, this has been so amazing. My heart is just so full because I believe in you. I believe in the services that you are offering, and I believe in your purpose behind it. And I'm so proud and so humbled and thankful. All of those words put together to be a part, just a small part of the journey that you're taking. So we so appreciate you. And I'm going to stop because, I get really mushy, but I'm going to let Dwayne close this out.
Oh, no, I mean, you're doing good. Just thank you for everything. I can tell that you're fun, you're nice, but I can tell when you get into that financial space and that coaching space, somebody gonna get a whooping. But I can already tell. So like I said, I hope people are taking heed, and they are taking down information, taking down the contact information, because there are a lot of us who need that information, and a lot of us that need your assistance to help keep us out of trouble. That little whooping keep us from getting that big whooping,
Right.
From the IRS and those, things where they get into your books and stuff. So take the lessons, call the number, reach out via all the avenues that she has available, and take advantage of it, because it's worth it. Absolutely.
All right, Alexis, how do you feel?
I'm good. I'm excited. I am energized. No, but truly, this is such an honor to be here tonight to share this time with you guys and just be able to help and educate your audience in any way that I can.
Thank you so much. You are such a blessing, and I'm so excited to see all that's to come. So we do this little thing. We got to wave out, peace out. So thank you all for joining the Wealth Roundtable Season 2, Episode 2. An amazing episode with an amazing lady, Alexis Sidney, and you will see her more and more and more. We're glad to be affiliated with her, associated with her brilliant mind, and she's just a beautiful person inside out. Tune in next week, same time, same place, and peace out.